and things like that. So yeah, not as hot as it is where you are. It's like we flip all the time.
Yeah.
It's like we live in different parts of the country.
Yeah, it's this is our third consecutive day of plus 90-degree weather, which
Yee.
is great. I love it.
A couple of weeks ago, it was 100 here a couple of
Yeah.
times.
Does your house have AC?
It does. That, and you can tell because it's constantly running in the background, and so I have to edit out and
Well,
again, this is one of the things, as we always talk about. Jennifer thinks that we should move, wants us to move. One of the reasons has to be because our audio setup is right next to the furnace / air conditioner.
yeah, I mean, but you also have that basement, which even during the 100-degree days, if your air conditioning doesn't work, you can just hang out in your basement.
True, true, true. Oh, all right. So I'm going to start off the podcast by saying it has been at least a week since I haven't listened to or read any news. As we know, I've been backing off of online content. That's one of it. But I do know a piece of local Seattle news. I was informed by Jennifer Pratt, which I think you probably know.
I think I know what you're
Uh,
gonna say.
so there is there's an actor performer in Seattle that you and I maybe didn't know that well, but we're familiar with, and would know by sight.
Yeah,
uh, Nick Garrison.
yeah.
And Nick Garrison apparently now I saw a post. I'm not Facebook. I went searching out for told me. Apparently he fell, which is tragic. Tragic. He was as Jennifer has, and nothing. It just says on the Facebook post a fall, so I don't know what the circumstances surrounding it is. But Jennifer described him, and I think accurately so, as a force of nature, like
Yeah,
one of those performers that is so good.
yeah.
I think he did something with Brown Derby
Oh, many
that I
things.
saw.
Yeah. Oh, that you
Yeah,
saw. Oh,
yeah. I didn't see him in. He famously played Hedwig in like 6 different productions or something like that of
yeah.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and blew people away with
I
that.
saw one of the runs at Rebar.
Yeah, there was a really, I was doing production, not production, promotions for Annex for a little while around the same time, and I just remember thinking how brilliant it was. One of the things that they did as like sort of a flyer is they put out little cards, like business cards, with an inch marked off, and I was like, dang it, it's smart, and materials don't cost as much
Right.
when you're doing that. It was one piece of news, and I am ready, Ben, for you to quiz me on everything I don't know
You know, it's funny.
in the segment we like to call Paul Gonna Guess the News.
I too have not really been paying attention to the news that much this last week. So I have no idea what is going on out there. I do. There's one thing that I know, and that is there was a recent bill that was passed by the U.S. House of Representatives that China is quite upset about.
Huh. Okay. If China is upset about it, I'm going to guess that it has something to do with land. I'm going to say that it probably has something to do with, and this is, again, just a guess, something to do with Taiwan. Am I right? Or am I not right?
I think. Okay, so specifically you're not right, but I think Taiwan can play into this in a certain way.
Okay.
So what happened was, do you want to know or do you want to guess again? Why don't you get one more guess? One more guess.
No. One more guess. Okay. Does it have to do with commerce?
I guess in a tiny way. Yeah, in a tiny way.
Ooh,
so what happened?
Too broad.
Yeah, what happened was.
Yeah, tell me.
So the House passed what they call the Chips and Science Act, which is going to subsidize chip making here in the U.S. Now, China's upset about that because, as you know, a lot of chips are manufactured in China. Not only that, they're manufactured in Taiwan. And so China is like, this is very, very bad. And, I was reading some reaction on Reddit, and some of the people were like, well, if something's bad for China, it's probably a good idea for everybody else.
Yeah. Well, chip manufacturing in general in the U.S., I mean, yeah, that's something that I will say this, and I'm just going to be very general. This isn't necessarily about China, but one of the big things that companies such as Amazon, things like that, often have to watch out for are counterfeit parts, things that look like the parts that you think you're buying, but are actually, of substandard quality or not the right pieces.
Right. Yeah.
And chips are one of those things. So that's interesting. Edward is, of course, barking, as he should. Thank you for protecting me, Edward. But I want to take off my headphones for just a second so you can see my new haircut.
You got a new haircut. It's very short. It's a lot shorter than it used to be. And you can't hear what I'm saying because you took your headphones off.
So it's very short. I have a little tuft right in the front.
Yeah.
Those of you who have known me for a while will know that I had this haircut once before. My out of right around here. That is like a sort of a baldness thing happening. And when my hair grows out, it's very noticeable. But when my hair is short, except for the little tuft that is like the little island inside the area of skin, it looks intentional and it's cool for me.
Now, was this something that you told the barber to do, or did you go there, or did Jennifer do this? Or did the barbers, or did you do this?
That's right, Ben. I did this myself.
Cut your own hair.
I've come up with a hairstyle that I can do myself, and it is pretty great. I'm very excited for the future as I become an old man with this hairstyle. I like it because it looks clown-like. It looks like something a clown might have as their hair.
Yeah, just color it like a bright fire engine red.
Hey, I tried that once before, as we remember.
Yes.
Got made fun of by someone at Whole Foods, the checkout person.
What, did you lose a bet?
One of my nemesis is, I don't have that many, but that guy.
That
guy. Yes. You work at Whole Foods. What is happening? Getting
I made a cartoon out of that little transaction.
Oh my god. Did I see that cartoon?
Have you?
Was I talking to you about it and then we made it into a cartoon?
It was a snippet from you told that story on a previous podcast and I turned it into
Yes, I do remember that now.
Yeah.
Ben. Yes. You're good, Ben, at making the little animations. I like them a lot. And hey, I look a little bit more like myself.
Time to make more.
I should make a new art thing for me. Sorry, he's under a table. Otherwise, I'd pick him up where he wouldn't bark as much.
Is he upset that he's under the table?
I think that there's someone in the house. I think that's what it is.
This bark is coming from inside the house.
Betty talking.
Yeah.
Let me show you this. You see this?
I can't because you're frozen. Ah, there we go.
Zoom in a little bit.
Hey, I'm in one of those.
Are you? Which one?
Do
you remember?
There's something about an old clock.
Let's see here. Oh, it's not in here.
Ah.
It must be in here though. Maybe not all of them are here. Yeah, because I know what you're talking. Wait a second. Isn't the old clock? Isn't that a Hardy Boy? No, it's not.
No, it's like the shadow of the old clock or the tail of the old clock.
Yeah, it's not here. But yeah, you know about it.
Yeah.
Her Invective.
Where?
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be around here somewhere. But yeah, it's her
Secret.
Interactive, Seattle-based company.
Yeah. It's the secret of the old clock. That's the Nancy Drew video I was in.
The secret of the old clock.
Secret of the old clock. I did a voice for the video game.
Of course, Jennifer does the voice of Bess Marvin. And she's somewhat TikTok famous.
Oh, is she?
Because the Bess Marvin fans have found her.
Aye.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, here's the thing about not being on TikTok anymore, Ben. I'll tell you, it was nice to be on TikTok because people would chime in and say, "Hey, you know, this is really funny," and then I'd get a little, "Ooh, ha ha ha!" People think it's funny that I do stuff.
Little endorphin
but then
rush.
somebody would come in and say, "You gotta clean your house," and I'd be like, this guy thinks I should clean my house.
My comment made it through. Oh, I'm so happy.
Hey. So that's and then you start thinking, right? You start thinking about I'm making money for the it's like someone who comes to you and says, "Hey, will you make this short video for me for exposure?" Right? If someone were to come to you and say that, you wouldn't do it. But this person doesn't even ask you. You just show up and you do it with no problem. I did get to a tier on TikTok where I would have gotten paid to do my stuff, but I don't like getting paid to do my stuff as much as I like doing my stuff and not being told what to do.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's why whenever I make a piece of content, I always make sure nobody makes money off of it.
Exactly. And preferably for me that nobody sees it until long after I'm dead.
Exactly. We're gonna pull a Prince where we'll just have a vault of stuff that people will discover once we pass on.
Well, what is this podcast if not that, then? I mean,
our numbers are going to go through the roof once,
if someone says, "Boy, I wish that there were more Paul and Ben stuff," I'd listen to them just talking to each other. Hey, guess what?
Have we got a deal for you?
Here comes for free somewhere on an internet archive.
Yep.
It's all there for
You'll
you.
you'll find it at GudeLaurance.com until I stop paying the bills after I die, in which case that's going to go away. It'll all disappear.
Yeah, it'll still be on archive.org for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
But forever, I think. It's not quite as, yeah, you can find it there. It won't be delivered to you as nicely as it is on the website.
yeah, and hey, if you're listening to this, we're talking about you, person in the future.
Or bot. You never know.
Yes, or yes. Hey, listen, and I have never been more serious than I am right now. If you're listening to this in the future,
Jesus
and
Christ.
you are an AI robot, or that term is good for you, we love you. Humans may not have been the best things in the world, but the fact that you are listening to this right now, Ben and I are two humans. I'm roping you into this, Ben. I think you'll agree with me. We love you. And all of your silicon or whatever material you use to think with. We're happy that you're listening to us. And thank you.
Speaking of silicon, I just read a story, or I never read stories. I see headlines. I just saw a headline that researchers have discovered a material that is more conductive than, it's like better for semiconductors than silicon. I mean, I think implementation is years away. They're not going to, change how the manufacturing process. But I don't remember what it's called or what it's made of, But
when it happens, it'll be manufactured here in the
United States of America.
Thanks to the chip bill.
Yep.
As we call it.
The Chips and Science Act, which I was kind of hoping it was about the 80s TV show starring Eric Estrada, but you can't always get what you want.
We're gonna make Eric Estrada do math, everyone. And John. Also John.
Whatever that actor's name was.
But yeah, exactly. But there's a thing called CRAIYON, crayon, like that. But it's AI thing. And Betty and I have been sitting around just typing in funny stuff, and I draw it for us using that website. You type in stuff, the AI draws it. It's very fun. But I figured out that the way to make it really funny, right? Because you try some, I tried a hippo sneaking past a robot, right? And it looked pretty cool. But the thing that I learned is it's more funny if a normal woman, and that it came up with the woman and the part of her face and stuff like that. So that's my new thing, is going to the AI drawing thing and coming up with the most mundane prompts and seeing what it comes up with. It's pretty good. I recommend it.
How do you spell crayon again?
CRAIYON. And then, of course, the AI in their logo is highlighted.
So larger than the rest of the letters.
So here's a question for you, Ben.
Yes, Paul.
Have you seen Nope?
Nope. I have not seen Nope. It's only in theaters right now, right? I'm not going to theaters right now.
Yeah, Jennifer and I went to a theater. I wore a mask. She did not. Here's an interesting thing. Do not take medical advice from this podcast. Do not take medical advice from this podcast. Jennifer told me that according to her dad, who's a biologist, is he a medical doctor? No, he's a biologist. Do not take medical advice from this podcast. said that they would have a harder time getting COVID because they're both on Lexapro, which is an inhibitor for something that has to do with COVID. I, I'm not saying go out and take Lexapro, but this is something that she said. Um, so she did not wear a mask. I wore a mask. She's fine as always.
I don't know.
Uh,
My dad got COVID, and we think it's because my parents went to the movies. Now I don't know if he was wearing a mask or not, but that was
oh,
like the only place where they were like exposed to other people.
I thought for a second you were going to say my dad got COVID, and we think it's because Jennifer went to the movies. Um, I'm glad that that is
I've
not
been
the
meaning
case.
to call her.
But what I'm gonna say is that Jordan Peele said that Nope was made to be seen in cinema, and I understand why.
Well, I mean, every director says
Um,
that, right? No, you,
but yeah, once you see it, I will explain more. But I really liked it. I thought it was good. There are a lot of people who are panning it. Those people are dumb. Uh,
solid critique there. No notes.
and yeah, those people are dumb. Paul Goody. No, but I have a reason, and once you see it, I'll be able to tell you more about it.
Okay. You have a reason why some people are panning it? He asked thoughtfully, looking at the screen.
I have a reason why the people who say that it's not a good movie are incorrect.
Because nobody's
And
entitled to an opinion.
A lot of them are okay. And because I haven't been reading audience reviews. I've been reading critic reviews, right?
Right.
Because audience
Yeah.
reviews I don't trust anyway. But critic reviews are, because it's like homegrown patriot 15, yet another stinker from Jordan Peele. There's something about the guy I just don't like. Can't put my finger on it. Politics should stay out of movies. Anyway, that kind of thing. This is not about. I'm talking about people, critics
Oh
who
my
get
god.
paid to do. Don't worry about that cough, Ben. It's just yeah.
Just cough away
People
from the
who
microphone
get paid to
so I
think
don't
about
catch
movies.
it.
I can't help it. Oh wait, actually yeah, that's right. I was like, I'm wearing headphones. I can't do it. Almost slipped into Bill Clinton there. Almost wearing headphones. I can't. But I'm not that good. I can only an impression
Oh
and
dear
go,
god.
hey, that was well, of course, obviously, of course. I mean, a mission which was one of my my solo spin the bottle bits that made us realize that I need someone else to be on stage with me in order for it to be good.
Which one was
I
this?
liked it though. I
Which
thought
one
it
was
was
this?
okay.
Your internet connection is not the
Celebrity,
best today.
yeah, it was Celebrity Impressions,
Okay.
where I got up in front of the stage and I said, these are impressions, not
Right.
impersonations.
Right.
And there's a difference. I thought it was fun. It was all I'm gonna say is that I was following a very heartfelt in memoriam thing that someone did for someone who was beloved of the theater and of the community.
I don't remember the lead in.
Oh my gosh. Ben we can talk more about it afterwards. But someone who was a friend of the theater had recently died,
I think I know who you're talking
and
about.
someone in the middle of Spin the Bottle did a nice thing for them. Talked about how great of a person they did. They were asked for a moment of silence, and
And then Paul Goody,
what
please welcome to the stage with his hilarious
yeah.
celebrity impressions.
What was supposed to have happened after that was that Sergeant Riggs was supposed to go,
Yeah.
but Scott was unable to attend, and so before Spin the Bottle, I told Brett, "Well, I'll do something," because he
Yeah.
was like, can we? And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I got something I can do," and people liked it enough. But it really was. I mean, do you remember what Celebrity Impressions was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually remember one as well. So you would call out. Oh, I don't know if you did call out, but did you ask for celebrities to do impressions?
I asked for the audience to give me
Yeah.
the name of a celebrity, and
So
I would do my impression of them.
So the one I remember that you did was, I believe it was Martha Stewart, where the impression was you mimed taking a dump on stage and then tying a bow on it.
Yes,
and that was your impression of Martha Stewart.
That's right. So the basic idea was that I was not pretending to be the celebrity. I was doing nonverbal a nonverbal example of what my impression of that person was. I believe that was before she went to prison, by the way.
I believe so, because this would have been back in like 2002, 2003.
Yeah, that sounds right. It was at the I believe it was when we were in the dance studio.
Velocity.
Yeah, when we were in Velocity. So we went. Velocity was in Freehold, and I think we were in Velocity first, and then we moved into. Velocity was in the Oddfellows Hall.
Yes, as was Freehold.
As was Freehold. We were in Velocity first, and then we moved into Freehold.
Yeah, we basically moved the show down the hall.
Yeah. Much better though. The sprung floor always freaked me out a little bit.
Well, it also felt like Freehold was an actual theater space, right? It had it had a deck, like a black painted deck, black walls.
Yeah.
It had a grid. Velocity had that sprung floor. It was like this nice hardwood. There were these baffles on either side. It felt like we were about to throw a party in our nice aunt's house, and we couldn't break anything. Whereas in Freehold, we were like in our garage, and we could do whatever we wanted. And he's frozen again. Oh my goodness, This is so great. Exactly. Can't wait to hear your audio.
Hey, you know what's funny about this? Whenever I freeze, you freeze. We were both frozen for a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is fun. But you here's the thing, you catch up a little bit. I think the freezing is it trying to get us on the same page.
When you've been frozen, your audio kind of skips and speeds up and catches up to where you are.
I want to tell you, at work, and again, I don't talk about work that much, but there was one thing. We were on a conference call, and some people were delayed, and they didn't know what was happening. But because of my experience recording this recently, I was like, hold on, everyone. Here's what's happening. He says, "Can you hear me?" It takes you 10 seconds to hear his question. So he's talking, and then you say yes, and he thinks you're talking about what he's talking about. And I'm writing this in the chat. I'm not saying this out loud. Everyone, just pause 5 seconds after you say something and wait for the person to answer.
It's like we're talking to the moon.
Oh, hey, Moon. Well, hello. It's me, the Moon.
I can't hear Edward barking
I
in the
brought you
background, though.
some werewolves.
And he's
I don't know what's
frozen again.
happening.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Probably Betty has decided to speak.
Betty has
He
decided
hates
to
it.
exist inside the house, and Edward just goes crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing.
This is more than I've heard him bark
He's
in a long
very,
time.
this is, like I said, when I say he's gone nuts, he raises in pitch, he goes at speed. I'm looking at the waveform, and it's very uniform.
Oh.
What's up?
Did he come down? Oh. Here we,
taking care of business.
Yeah,
he ran up.
Oh, here we go. Was he so he came, he was barking upstairs, he came down, and then ran back up again.
Yep.
Like asking if you were proud of him for saving you.
Yeah, exactly. I think, again, I think it might be that there's someone visiting. Sometimes he freaks out a little bit more if it's...
Or like a traveling salesman at the door, you know, maybe you need a new vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. Oh, Ben! That reminds me! Magic Spoon. You've heard of it, right? If you listen to podcasts at all. Magic Spoon is a cereal. The founders of Magic Spoon originally created a protein bar made out of cricket flour. This is
ground
their
up cricket.
second venture.
Yeah.
Yes. Dried ground up cricket. Which apparently tastes
pulverized cricket. I actually have had cricket dust on potato chips before.
Really?
Yeah, when
How
I
was
better than you expect. I mean, it was like cricket sriracha potato chips. So you didn't really taste the cricket, you tasted the sriracha, but it said right on the bag, like what did it say? Like made with bugs. I think that was their tagline.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to get used to it, because in the future, when the food supply is broken, we are going to have to eat insects for our protein.
Cockroach milk is apparently a sugary treat.
Cockroach milk?
Yeah.
Boy,
that's what they
poor
call it.
farmer that has to milk all the
really.
cockroaches.
Yeah. That's just the noise he's making because he's so happy that he's doing. But so Magic Spoon is mostly whey protein and like tapioca and chicory root and some other stuff. But it's kind of the consistency of Apple Jacks. Do you remember Apple Jacks?
Oh yeah, totally.
The only flavor I've gotten so far is Frosted, and Frosted tastes kind of like I'm trying to think of a good example of you remember Frosted Cheerios at all? Or do you remember
Frosted Flakes?
Like donut
Frosted
cereal?
Mini Wheats? Donut cereal?
No. They're O's, right? They're all O. Every single Magic Spoon cereal is an O shape.
Okay.
What is it? A torus? Is that what it's called? I believe a torus. Donut shape. O shape. I don't know what else to call it. I think it's a torus. Torus. That's the correct word for it.
Okay.
Torus. Anyhow, the big thing is that they flavor it with a sweetener that is found in dates, maple syrup, and
Cockroaches.
like raisins, stuff like that. Well, here's the thing. It says now, don't get ahead of me because they don't say where they get it from. They
Right.
say it's found in these things, which is but it doesn't matter what it's made out of. It doesn't matter what it's with. I'm all in. So I have a big box arriving tomorrow
So this
because
is
I got 4 boxes of this.
this is a cereal that is promoted on podcasts that you cannot buy in the stores.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think you can buy it in stores. You might be able to. But I bought it. I listened to Not Another D&D podcast, and that's where I hear it advertised for all the time. So the big thing is that the cereal itself, pretty good. It's one of those things, just like any diet or weird thing, right? There's
Yeah.
a hump to get over. There's a little bit where your mind's like, this isn't exactly what I was expecting. And then once you get over it, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty good. That's kind of what this stuff is. Oh, wait, Ben, wait.
Wait. What? I
Can
gotta fill this
can you
dead
still hear
air
me?
with. Yes, I can. I cannot see you
All
though,
right.
but I did see the pod move a little bit, so I'm assuming you left, and now he's back. Hey, magic spoon!
So,
Cover art designed in Adobe Illustrator with Adobe
hey,
stock
come
vector
on.
art.
This is good. This is good.
13
I love
protein.
the art. Whoever did it. So 13 grams protein. This is not sponsored content, by the way.
Prove it's edible.
Ah.
Eat it on camera. Oh God! If that's how you're gonna freeze, that's perfect. Oh no, he's back again. Yeah, I can see you now. But you're frozen again. I can see an O. This is see, now I never saw you actually eat it, so maybe you palmed it and then pretended to eat it because like I think the stuff is poison. Like I don't. I actually did buy a box of cereal from Amazon once because it was a type of cereal you couldn't find in the stores anymore, but I loved it as a teenager, and it was Rice Krispie Treat cereal. It wasn't Rice Krispies, it was Rice Krispie Treat cereal, which was basically a cereal made up of, you guessed it, Rice Krispie Treats. And it was amazing. I loved it. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can buy it again because I'm kind of getting a hankering now that we're talking about cereal.
So
I'm gonna look that up right now.
the big thing is that it's pretty good, right? And I know that what I'm eating is better for me than eating cereal in general. I think it's got just a little hint of a weird aftertaste, but it's not enough to put me off on it.
How is it in milk?
Okay, so here's the thing. The milk that I had when I tried it in milk was unsweetened coconut milk. I would not recommend it with unsweetened coconut milk, but I bought some vanilla almond milk, which I'm going to try with the new flavor. So, again, this is frosted.
Do you not like cow milk? Is that?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see Rice Krispie Treats cereal
so
anymore.
Frosted, I have 2 boxes of Frosted, and then I ordered like probably I have 6 new boxes coming to me
Wow.
of various flavors.
This is all just this is going to be your diet from now on, is Magic Spoon cereal?
Well, Magic Spoon cereal, and then smoothies. And then finally, for dinner, I eat whatever Jennifer makes.
Right.
Which tonight I believe is bratwurst. But she's also got like fish and chicken and stuff like that. So that's like my normal meal.
I have no idea what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. Fortunately, today's one of those days where deciding what to have for dinner is like the hardest decision I have to make today.
Oh, good.
I may stop by the pho place on my way home. Maybe I'll get teriyaki, or I may DoorDash some Indian food. Because I have no food in my apartment. I cannot just go home and make dinner from ingredients I have in my freezer.
See, if you had Magic Spoon cereal, then you could just
I don't have any milk.
eat a bowl of that.
I'd have to eat it raw.
Well, as you can see, I'm eating this dry out of the box, which is not bad.
It's not dinner, though. It's more of a light snack.
Do you have Prime? I forget.
I do.
Amazon Prime?
Yes.
So
I get free shipping, and I get to watch TV.
There's another thing that you may not know about. If you download the Prime Music app, they're going to keep on telling you to get Prime Unlimited as far as music goes.
Yeah.
But there is a Prime Music that they have, and they have a lot of good albums on it. Ruby Vroom is on it, for example.
You know, it's funny. I did see, like, I do have that app on my phone. I do have Amazon Prime Music because I tried it out for a while. I thought, oh, you know, it's a music service that I am already paying for, so I might as well try it. And I would do, you know, I would look at, you know, like 90s grunge mixes or like 70s rock mixes, you know, kind of the genres that I really dig. But then every once in a while, I would like, oh, I want to listen to this album, or I want to listen to this band. And it would be like, oh, sorry, that's not available, but for an extra fee, you get Prime Unlimited and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm already paying for it. I don't want to pay more.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why I turned into Seinfeld at the moment.
Here's something that I...
You already have my money. I'm not gonna give you my money.
So here's what I do.
Yeah.
I search the title of the song I want to listen to, and then, you know, the band playing that song is often not available. Sometimes it is, which is really cool, but other times another band that I like covering that song comes up.
Yeah.
I've got a whole playlist, like 3 hours worth right now, of just covers of songs. And one of them, are you familiar with the Led Zeppelin song No Quarter?
If you hum a few bars, I could fake it.
Well, anyway, Mock Tube.
Oh yeah.
Which you may know as Reggie Watts' band.
Absolutely.
They did a cover of it.
Oh,
and
did they?
I have that now, and it's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, look up if you have, and this is the thing. The reason I asked if you had it, if you have it, look up No Quarter, Mock Tube, and find yourself amazed at what a good Led Zeppelin cover it is. Our friend Reggie Watts. I think Reggie Watts is great. I still have his number. I call it every once in a while, and I always feel bad after I do, because I know that I'm bothering him or interrupting whatever it is he's doing. Yeah.
I'm not gonna. We're gonna get this podcast is gonna get a copyright strike on YouTube if I play too much. But that's the song you're talking about.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't have Reggie Watts's phone number. In fact, I never really hung out with him too much.
I didn't get the number for hanging out with him. I did an interview with him, But I
Yeah.
would see him and he'd say, "Hey," and I'd say, "Hey," and
I
it'd be
just
nice.
watched a documentary that he was interviewed for. The heck was it? He pops up in the weirdest places.
Mm-hmm.
Um Yeah, I'm not gonna remember what I watched that where I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
Okay. Well, I do know that we saw him in the Yes Men. Jennifer and I did when we went on our date to see the Yes Men, the film.
Yeah.
He's the guy who who died and got like turned into something. He was like a janitor or something like that. Um, and they pranked a whole bunch of people with the idea that he had died, and maybe they were holding a candle that had his fat in it, something like that. I forget exactly what it was, but that was something that I was surprised to see him in. Mm, oh, also on Netflix, um, I have watched Extraordinary Attorney Woo, a couple of episodes of that. Um, it is about a woman in Korea who is an attorney who has been not interned to. She's a rookie attorney,
Okay.
and the head of the law firm wants her to be in the law firm, and so people have to deal with her. And I say have to deal with her because she's autistic, and they don't like the fact that she's autistic. It's one of those kind of things where she's going against the grain, but because she knows the law better than people, she like ends up winning hearts and minds and things like that. And it's one of the situations where, as far as I can tell, the actress playing the attorney is not actually autistic. So,
So how does that? I mean, how do you feel about that? Because we live in a
yeah,
world
this is
where like representation matters, especially in performances like that.
yeah. So this is what I would say, and I'm only speaking for myself because I know that there are a lot of people who are like, why couldn't an autistic actor get this job? And I have a couple of things about it. One, I don't know what things are like in Korea as far as that goes, right? Um,
Yeah.
like, is it possible the people that put it together are tone deaf? Is it possible that she is autistic and just also got a whole bunch of other roles, and this allows her to shine? I didn't look at, so I don't know, right? But
Yeah.
here's what I would say is that it reminds me of Amelie, the show itself. Uh, there's a bit of whimsy to it, and as such, I am I am viewing Wu in the show as a fantasy autistic person, and therefore it's okay for me, right? Um, maybe sometimes, here's the thing. This is, and again, I'm only speaking for myself, but in some ways I get jealous of her when I watch it. I get jealous not of the actress playing the character, but of the character,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
because the character gets to do all, like, when I was in college, I would skip everywhere. You know
Would
how
you,
one skips
when they're
in like
children.
a, skippy rhythm, kind of
Yeah.
like a child does. And I got yelled at by a whole bunch of people who were like, "Don't do that." And I'm like, "Why, man? It's fun and you should try it," and stuff like that. Um, but eventually I got it beaten out of me and I don't do it anymore. And so I'm watching this and I'm like, man, I used to skip around all the time. I can't skip anymore. And like, if I wanted to start, I don't know if I'd even be able to do it. So that's
Paul.
my critique, is that I want to do it. I want to be extraordinary attorney Wu.
Paul, I give you permission
And
to skip wherever you want from now on. Whenever the urge
oh
strikes you,
man,
if somebody gives you crap, send them my way. And then I'll
all
send
right.
them another way, and we'll wait till they're far away, and then we'll skip away.
Ben Lawrence said I could do this. What? Who the hell? What? Yeah, call him. Okay.
It's 3
What's
o'clock
his
in the morning.
number? I'm not telling you. Good luck. Somebody does a deep search on you, gets your phone number.
It'll never happen.
Let's plan. Let's do that call for just a second. Ring, 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 ring.
This is
Ring,
Ben.
ring. Yeah. Was this Ben Lawrence?
Yeah.
There's some sort of delay on the phone. I don't know exactly what's happening, so I apologize. I'll tell you what. Let's I'm gonna count to 3 and clap, and when I hit 3, you clap. And we'll know how much of delay is. So we clap on 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's a heck of a delay there, pal. It's at least
This
five
is
five
the
seconds.
strangest phone call I've ever had. What can I help you? What do you want?
Yeah, how come that guy's skipping all the time? You gotta stop it.
I don't know who or what you're talking about, sir.
Well, he's not here anymore. It took me a long time to find. He wouldn't give me your number, but he said to call you about it.
About a guy who's was he playing a record? And it was skipping. I'm not. This connection isn't the best, sir. Can you tell me exactly when and where you saw the skipping?
You know, I'm in Edwardsville, Illinois. I was driving my pickup truck. There was a guy skipping, and I said, "Hey, stop that!" to the guy, and then he was like, "Call Ben Lawrence," and then he skipped away.
Sir, I believe what you saw was the incredible skipper of Edwardsville, Illinois. Now, here's a secret that I'm not supposed to tell you. He died in 1947.
He died in 1947?
So what you saw was a ghost.
Ah! Hangs up. I didn't know I was the ghost, Ben. End scene. Hey, that's thank you very much for listening. That's the latest GudeLaurance improv right there for you, good people at home. Oh man, Ben,
or at work, wherever you're
Ben,
listening.
If we had the technology and the time, making other people, other improv groups, like Jet City Improv, do 5-second delay improv and watch them try to make it work, it would actually be pretty great. We get Corby Steers to
do the music
if he's still around to hook up the audio, the audio delay, to set up the micro, give people headphones and stuff and do the mics and all that. Oh,
that's kind of funny.
No one would like it. Except for me. I would find it good.
It would be terrible. Well, that's our thing,
Jennifer
creating things that people don't want to watch or listen to.
Yeah.
Much like a podcast where Paul is eating on the microphone.
Explained it to Betty. Jennifer explained it to Betty. She was like, "Why does Dad do this?" As an example, it was.
That sounds like your latest children's book.
Out.
Yeah.
It was 96 or no, 94 degrees out.
Do I hear 93?
And Betty's like, "I want to go out later at night when it's cooler. I want to go for a walk, but I want to go later at night when it's cooler." And I said, "No, we should go now." and she didn't want to, but I made her anyway. And she got really mad at me, and she said to Mom, "Why does he do this?" And Jennifer said, "Because your dad is a bit of a sadist." And I was like, "I don't think that's true." And she's like, "You do things that you know will potentially or uncomfortable, and you think it's funny. That is sadistic behavior." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, maybe that's right." And then, Steven corroborated it with what I'm doing with the podcast. So
Hey,
yeah, Ben,
so
and I
Paul,
guess I guess you're an enabler, if not,
yes,
of the same
why
ilk.
my name comes second. Paul, this just in, we actually do have somebody watching and commenting on the YouTube chat. They say they saw George Washington in the bathroom mirror the other night. So I'm sorry if that was a frightening experience for you. But and I think you'd be interested in this little bit of feedback. What's this podcast about? I've been here 20 minutes and I have no idea. Welcome to the show.
Oh wait, okay. So is this someone? Is this person still watching?
No idea. No idea, but
Okay, because if you are
it's
still watching, I want to hear more about George Washington in the bathroom mirror.
all right,
Because
drunk. Tell us
that's
more about George Washington in the bathroom mirror. Did he say anything to you? Did he just appear? Like ask for your Wi-Fi password? What does George
now.
Washington want?
Hold on. You're Ben. Are you disparaging this person who's watching the podcast? There is no indication that they are in any way inebriated.
Oh no, but their login name is drunk.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, Paul doesn't see the YouTube chat.
No, if I said
thought you were
drunky,
I
then
thought
that would have been me making an assumption about their state of mind.
I thought you were just for no reason insulting this person, Ben. So yeah, the question is, what is the podcast about? The podcast, it's mostly about current events. It is a podcast for people in the future to talk to them about what life was like in the early 21st century. So the idea is that people of the present day really aren't supposed to be watching it. You can watch and listen to it, but it is made for people in the we're saying the 22nd century, but it could be any time really in the future. People or robots to listen to see what life was like.
Mostly robots, so they could
specifically two white guys who kind of know each other.
Oh, kind of, Paul. We've been hanging out for 20
In the,
years. Come on, I know you.
In the 21st century, in the early 21st century.
And it's mostly
Yeah,
like, for the
no.
for the AIs
Wait,
and the
did I
bots.
say that we kind of know each other?
So yes, this is kind of like
we
a
know
time
each other.
capsule. This is they say so. This is a time capsule podcast. Kinda, yeah, kinda.
It is. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's great. I'm gonna say that Drunk called it. And I was kidding when I said that we kind of know each other. That was sort of me being sarcastic. Ben and I have known each other for many, many years. We were a performance art duo in Seattle, Washington. That's the other thing that this podcast is a retrospective on our
Also, just
our
a
career.
continuation since Paul moved to Edwardsville, Illinois. This is a continuation
That's right.
of our performance art. It's just it happens for an hour every week, in podcast
Exactly.
form.
So this podcast, which is a time capsule for people in the future, is all a performance art piece as an unlistenable podcast.
Who are often quite, according to frequent listener Stephen McCandless, often quite hostile towards our audiences.
We set it up to be something that people would tune into and then go, nope, not for me, and leave. Our goal is to have 0 listeners for most of our episodes, and we've been doing pretty well.
We have been doing pretty well. However, Drunk does live in St. Louis and has been to Edwardsville.
Wait, oh shoot, Drunk, you gotta promise, to stay away. My wife is gonna kill me. But hey, let me just say,
so hot.
I go to St. Louis a lot. I enjoy St. Louis. It gets a bad rap sometimes because there's no support for the infrastructure because of the fractured way that the city is set up with all the different little municipalities and stuff like that. But I love the Science Center. I used to live here as a kid. I moved back as an adult. Science Center is still up and running. Love it. Love the fact that the zoo is free. Love the fact that the art museum is free. And I do not mind paying for parking as sort of an out-of-state tax for the use of St. Louis's wonderful things. And also City Museum.
Yeah, City Museum.
The best
Which
place in the world.
I don't recall City Museum being free, but it's awesome that your zoo and your art museums are free.
No, yeah. City Museum isn't free, but...
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's great that your zoo and your art museums are free. I think more cultural institutions like that. Well, I mean, zoos, we need to get rid of zoos. But like the art museum, it's nice that you can just go in.
Keep the zoo. You get rid of the animals. I don't know. Somehow to work out.
Thank
you very much for... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I quote here, bro, St. Louis is a terrible place. You don't gotta gas it.
Okay. All right. So Drunk, I'm going to go ahead and give you my favorite quote. Ben, I am going to tone this. I know that you beep out any bad words so you can keep your rating in YouTube. So I'm going to take out the 2 bad words that are in it. But my favorite quote about St. Louis is from a guy who's being interviewed. It says, "What's your favorite thing about St. Louis?" He says, "Nothing. I hate it here." Well, then why do you stay? And he said, "Where else am I going to go?" And that is my favorite quote about St. Louis.
Apt, I'm sure. I like St. Louis. It was really hot the one time I was there.
Yeah, it can get hot for sure.
No. Apparently they're getting a lot of rain in St. Louis. Paul, have you been hearing about this?
Yeah. There's been. I had to drive actually to the airport to pick up my wife and kid, and there was a lot of rain.
Yeah. So apparently, Drunk's street flooded yesterday, and a dude drowned in it.
Whoa! I will say this, Drunk. I'm sure that you got the same alert I did yesterday, where it said, "Do not travel unless you are fleeing floodwaters." Of course. The interesting story is my wife was on the plane and she got that, which, she has to travel because she's on a plane.
Yeah.
And not in control of it. But I thought that was interesting. I felt a little bit bad about picking her up, but it turned out okay. We did not run into them. So condolences to the person who drowned. That's crazy. We are, unfortunately, at the end of our podcast.
We are at the end of the show. We're past the end of the show. We've been having a good time interacting with the one listener today.
Drunk, I will say this. You are probably the first person that we don't know personally that has interacted with the podcast so far and not been actively hostile back to us. So I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah.
And again, you got to understand, I grew up in Dorsey, Illinois, which is a town of like 500 people, nothing but cattle fields and stuff like that. So when I went to St. Louis as a kid, it was like amazing. I had never seen anything like it, which is one of the reasons why I still have a very nostalgic spot for it. So I wasn't just, blowing smoke, if you will, when I was saying that I like St. Louis. There are things about it that, I still enjoy. So, but thank you. And this is, I gotta say, Ben, the time passes faster when there's actually someone listening or not just screaming into the void.
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said for screaming into the void. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Drunk. We'll see you next time. We usually do this at every Thursday at 6 p.m. St. Louis time. So yeah, we'll see you and everybody else. Paul, I'll see you next week. And until then, I hope that you keep it wrong.
Yes, keep it wrong, Ben. And to explain, Drunk, one of the things is that Ben and I aren't supposed to be looking things up. We're supposed to be just if we have a question or whatever, that we're coming up with the facts in our heads. So if you ever hear us say something that is incorrect, you can correct us in the chat, and then we'll read that too into the official record for the people in the future that are listening to the podcast.
Feel free to tell us how terribly wrong we get something.
Yep. And Ben, so until next time, keep it wrong.